All right.
All right. And
So
we
the
have
last
tomorrow.
one. Die, 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 die. And it ends on the 5 chord, meaning it doesn't come back to the home chord. It ends there on purpose.
Quick water bathroom break, and we're gonna
Nice.
start in a few minutes.
Good Shabbos. Almost on Shabbos. Thank you.
I don't know, but I'll text her right now.
Hannah.
I've been a little busy, but I'll text her.
I'm so sorry. I'm just.
Way to go, Hannah. That was great.
You guys rock. If you go to the bathroom right now, she's back.
Yeah. Life happens. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, Dan, can we?
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you guys.
Tradition.
Whatever you want. You want your own?
I mean, sure.
Come a little bit farther. Yes, sir. Okay. I'm kind of harnessed in here with this baby. Is that okay? Yeah. Canter. Stay there. Take multiple photos. Canter, I want to take the individual with you. Yeah. If I may. Thank you, Vanessa. That guitar is, I've seen that guitar once. Stay there, please. Those are yummy kids. Love that energy. Good. Good job.
Greg?
Pleasure.
Great.
Have a great evening.
Greg, thank you so much for everything, really.
This season, it's November. It's the second time I've been there. They have a retiring engine. So they're exploring what every weekend a different artist. The week before was Charlie Kramer. The week before it was Saul Kay. Alan Goods has been there. Julie Silver's been there. A couple other people. It's not a nature art. Oh, Joshua is your guy? Basketball playing, coach going, Joshua Davis. I am tickled about that because he is always reaching out to me. He reaches out to me about once every 6 months. We play basketball together, Coach, regularly while he was there. He, about every 6 months, reaches out to me. When are you coming to Florida? How can we play basketball? I don't know if he tells you about that.
Michael.
Were you a good kid growing up? Schrader. So you're a Denver boy? I have such respect for you just on one basic word, first off. Yeah, like every time I go there, I get altitude sickness. Every time. So, how do you guys do it?
Dan Nichols, really here.
Make sure you do it.
How are you? We're so happy to have you. Last year, you were at my place. You take your with us.
Were you in school together?
Brand I and he said to me, like that he would spend time with him more if he would spend time with him.
I must tell you that this makes my day, and I lost my dad about a year ago, and I'm always looking for ways to keep him alive. And my dad, if I'm able to embody that, that's what my dad taught me by living his life every day. And that you're bringing that back to me right now is bringing my dad. Thank you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. That's the best compliment I think I've ever received.
Really beautiful, right? Welcome.
Wow. Can you tell me where the closest bathroom is? Guys, I just really need to go
Right
right before
outside.
time to go.
Right outside there. Right outside. Just keep going straight. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're
Wow.
welcome.
Cool. Go, 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 go.
Test, test. Test.
Yeah, but please don't make me start until he walks back in because no, I need his guitar and I don't know how to use it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I just want to wait till he walks back in.
I watched.
Yeah. Because I play his guitar and I don't exactly know how.
And is there? This is for the kids. This.
Yeah, but you can push it. They can push it.
It feels really dark up here. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see.
Michael's not over there. Absolutely.
Hi, Neely.
That's what I'm saying. I'm happy to be. I have 30 seconds. I think we should.
Good. So I missed it.
We need to run the quiz. Okay, fine. Either way.
Why
Oh,
was
no, I have to run the quiz. It's not easy.
That third part, it's not been doing it, but it's hard. Not all of them, but there's a couple of notes that
Oh, I'm not going to be so, I don't know. I'm not going to be so exact on that. I don't know.
How'd it go?
Oh, what happened?
Was it for the kids? Right.
Get a blanket. Get a blanket. Test 1, 2. But is it raining?
I don't know. I know that there was terrible traffic.
When I was running up from bed,
You?
So if you want cable 5,
No, right now I want cable 2.
it's 7.
Play this.
It was, and I think I've muted it. Is medium okay to go?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I just wanted to do the beginning. Why don't you, it's your tenor. You're like a tenor.
Let's make sure that it's on. Yeah.
two, test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya 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 la la. From the beginning. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la, la la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Camp Shabbat. Welcome to Dan Nichols Shabbat. Welcome to Temple Beth Shalom. Woo! We are so excited about sharing Shabbat together, and we want to make sure everybody is familiar with each other. So I'm going to invite you to take a moment to please get up out of your seat, greet the people around you, introduce yourselves, wish them a Shabbat Shalom.
Ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. La, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya ya la 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 la. Please take a seat, and we are momentarily going to kindle the Shabbat candles. But before we do, I want to share with you, for those of you who might not know, that Temple Beth Shalom is a Reform synagogue, part of a network of Reform synagogues across the country, over 900 of us. And we have special Union for Reform Judaism camps. I grew up at Camp Coleman for 9 summers. Woo! I met Cantor Lisa Siegel at Camp Coleman, where she was a song leader. Rabbi Davis was the director of a camp. So we have a lot of Camp Yichus in this room. And tonight, we are so blessed to have directors from many of our camps with us, who are spending Shabbat with us to share the wonders and magic of camp with all of you. So for the kindling of the Shabbat candles,
I'm going to invite up our educator, Barb Szymanski, our new CLASP fellow, Camping Leadership Fellow, Seth Cohen, Jillian Back, Assistant Director of URJ's 6 Point Sports Academy East, Bobby Harris, Director of URJ Camp Coleman, Kara Hoffman, Assistant Director of URJ 6 Points Creative Arts Academy, and Jamie Malandine, Director of URJ 6 Points Sci-Tech Academy East. Thank you all so much for coming and being with us. We open our prayer books to page 2 for the kindling of Shabbat candles.
Okay, who wants to? Shut up. Bobby for sure.
And as we look at these beautiful flames, we think about all the light and joy that camping brings to our lives and the lives of our children. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Which one? Don't go yet, though. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
And we turn now to page 4 for the introduction to the Kiddush.
Really? Oh, and there was evening, and there was morning, the 6th day. The heaven and the earth were finished, in all their array. And on the 7th day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the 7th day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Together, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchilanu, zikaron, lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila, lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat mitzrayim, kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol amim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen. L'chaim.
Any other partakers?
To life, to camp. We open our prayer books to page 6, and we pray these words responsively. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
Who care? Thanks to express hopes to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block, too young or straying.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
The synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
We welcomed each other, and now we welcome the Sabbath bride. So we turn to page 20 to the chanting of Lecha Dodi. On the final verse, we rise and face the entrance to greet the Sabbath bride. And let's all just take a deep breath together. Welcome Shabbat.
And we also welcome to our Bima our guest artist, Dan Nichols. We're so thrilled to spend Shabbat with you. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabe. Ya la 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 lecha dodi.
Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Ki hishmi'anu al hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'litfilah. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha. Ki mekor ha'bracha. Verosh mikedem nesuha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Itoreri. Ki va'orech kumi ori. Shidaveri kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Go'i v'shalom ateret bala. Gam b'simcha u'tzola. Toch emunei am segula. Go'i chalom. Go'i chalom. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la
la la la la, B'nai Shabbat, B'nai Shabbat nekaben, ya la 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 nekadavi, ya la 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 nekra kala, ya la 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 B'nai Shabbat, B'nai Shabbat nekabela.
Please be seated. I'd like to invite up now Seth Cohen, who is our CLASP fellow. He's going to be joining us full-time pretty soon. CLASP is Camp, Leadership, and Synagogue Professional. It's a program that we share with the URJ, helping to inspire young people to be synagogue professionals, and so he'll be going to camp and being here with us for the next couple of years.
Good evening and good Shabbos. Like Rabbi Davis said, my name is Seth Cohen, and I am Temple Beth Shalom's new class fellow. Again, as Rabbi Davis said, class stands for Camp Leadership and Synagogue Professional. A large part of my position here is to help the youth of TBS discover the one thing that we are embracing here tonight, the one thing that has brought me here, camp. My camp journey began at 8 years old in the fall of 2004 when I spent a weekend at Camp Coleman at a new camper retreat. Suffice to say, it was love at first sight, and I spent the next 5 summers at Camp Coleman. Although my time was shorter compared to others, I still couldn't get enough. When I was old enough, I joined my Temple's junior youth group and eventually senior youth group, where I eventually served on my youth group board and had the honor of going to NIFTY convention in 2011. For those of you unfamiliar with some of the other alphabet soup of the URJ, NIFTY stands for North American Federation of Temple Youth. Even after my NIFTY years were done, I still couldn't get enough, even when in college. For the past 2 summers, I've served on staff at URJ 6 Point Sci-Tech Academy. It was after this last experience, coupled with attending the Cornerstone Retreat Fellowship, being a Cornerstone Fellow, where I got to spend 5 days with others who were just as excited and just as passionate about camp as I am. It was then that I realized now that I knew where I needed to be, which was youth engagement and camp. Tonight, you will get the opportunity to see one of the things that makes camp so special, a Camp Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
And we continue, page 28. Ask you to please rise for the call to worship. Baruch Hu.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la. That repeats, sing it again. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la.
Please be seated. Now I'd like to invite up Hannah Umlas and Jonathan Taman from the URJ Sci-Tech Camp to share a couple of words with us. I did not go to Sci-Tech Camp.
Sorry. I've been going to SciTech, 6 Point SciTech Academy for 2 years now, just like Seth, and I'm pretty sure I'll never forget it. I have met so many people, made so many friends, and built on relationships I already had. Every year I go back. I was really immersed in the temple, even while I was there, and the camp really had a huge sense of family. Sorry. The science program was amazing, and literally every opportunity was an opportunity to learn there. Every morning we did like this huge science experiment in front of everyone, and it was always really fun. Every morning we did prayers, and I just got to, I literally made a second family in 2 weeks, so it was just, yeah. I'm already registered to go back this year, and I can't wait.
Beautiful. Thanks, Anna. Beautiful. You can stay. Go ahead, stay right here.
Hello? Hello. I didn't really prepare anything, so I'll probably be pretty quick. I think my favorite part about SciTech is just the people. Like, not only my fellow classmates and campmates and stuff, but also the mentors and the chaperones and all the teachers. Just like feeling like a family, and them like showing me things and teaching me, and just really being really welcoming. Because I only went there for 2 years, and I was kind of late to go to the Jewish summer camps. I went there my 8th grade years-ish. So a lot of the people already knew each other, but I went there, and they still welcomed me, and they just made me feel like I belonged there, and I had known all of them for the years that they had gone there. And another thing that I really like is just the classes at SciTech. They can teach you so many great things about literally anything that you want to learn: robotics, film production, which is what I did for both years, and you can just learn a lot from it. And I know that I did. I was able to use the skills from the camp, and I was able to win awards in film production. So thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
I ask you to continue in our prayer book, page 30.
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Same thing again. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. That's the first part of this prayer. Second part is the 9th line down in the Hebrew. If you follow the Hebrew down to the 9th line. Borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or. Let's do that part again. Borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or. From the beginning. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day. You can keep singing that or sing Borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech Borei yom v'layla Ne'or, roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
We turn to pages 34 and 35. We meditate on words of Shema as we prepare to recognize with our own mind and heart and soul the oneness of the universe, connecting to all people, all of creation, all time, all space.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
We continue with Ve'ahavta, page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Now I'd like to invite up from the URJ Sports Camp, Hudson Kazara. Now I could have gone to sports camp. The sci-tech thing I couldn't have.
For the next prayer, the Miha Moha. The Miha Moha means freedom. Freedom can also be in camp. At 6 points, you have the freedom to choose your sport major and an elective. My favorite part of 6 points are the sport choices offered and the food. My favorite food is the grilled cheese. It's better than my mom's. I can't wait to go to 6 points next year for my 5th year.
Beautiful, thank you. And we continue with Micha Mocha, page 40.
As they're coming up, I want to tell you that I heard a story once from Rabbi Ed Feinstein that says it was actually easy for the Jews to get out of Egypt. What has been hard is for the Egypt to get out of the Jews. If that's true at all, it makes me want to ask a few questions. What are we still slaves to? And what would it take to set us free? How would that make us feel? We're all together on page 40, Micha Mocha, our song of freedom. Here we go. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה, הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. kamocha bo'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi kamocha bo'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh.
Now I'd like to ask Aiden Szymanski to come on up here. Aiden is from the Creative Arts, URJ Creative Arts Camp.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So we just heard the Michamocha, which details how when the Jews escaped Pharaoh, Miriam took out her drum and everybody started dancing in rejoice of their freedom. The drumming of Miriam and the dancing of the Israelites has carried over from family to family, religion to religion, generation to generation, eventually led to someone like me, an artistic Jew who loves arts and is passionate and proud of my religion. And I've always liked expressing my artistic styles, but for a long time there was no URJ camp for arts. Until now, I mean until 2 years ago, it came out 2 years ago. 6 Points is a camp, well, 3 camps actually, that each revolve around a major subject with some Judaism in the mix. They're kind of like the sugar, spice, and everything nice of 6 Points. And those things are 6 Point Sports Academy, and that's for athletic people. For scientific and technical people, there's SciTech. And for people like me, there's my favorite, Creative Arts Academy, which is what I will talk about because that's the only one of the 3 that I went to. Creative Arts Academy, or CAA for the people that want to be politically correct, has 7 majors: vocal, dance, instrumental, theater, visual, culinary, and creative writing. There are 2 bunks, not as in bunk beds, but as in groups. The first one being Bodium, which is for kids going into grades 4 to 7, and they pick 2 majors. While the second one, Olim, is for kids going into grades 8 to 12 and have had their B'nai Mitzvah, and they choose 1 major. I also was told on the car ride here that they're changing it a little bit, so, yeah. If your kid is interested in joining Creative Arts Academy, they can choose to go for one of the 3 sessions, or all 3. Well, each semester lasting 2 weeks, so they can go for 2, 4, or 6 weeks. It changes each child. And now I'll go for like a brief, very non-detailed rundown of normal day at Creative Arts Academy. Every day we wake up and go to Mo Moments, which is a tiny morning service mostly used so the counselors can explain the core value of the day. I'll talk more on that later. And after that, we say Hamotzi and we go to breakfast. After breakfast, the schedule changes per bunk, and the schedule for each bunk changes every year. So what each bunk has to have is 2 major blocks, 1 minor block, 1 kinesthetic arts block. Almost caught myself there. And on Shabbat, we have Shabbat prep, where we choose an arts. Doesn't have to be our majors, and do an activity in there that will be presented during Shabbat services. And now, like I said earlier, the core values. Here at CAA, we have core values that we believe make up a good person, or just a good artistic person, either one. Here are the 5, coincidentally, not actually coincidentally, they all start with C. Here are the 5 C's. There's creativity, craftsmanship, collaboration, curiosity, and grit. Oh, did I say 5 C's? I meant 4 C's and 1 G. Whoops. Anyway, these are the most important values to CAA, so much so that there are bracelets with the words made for CAA. And at the end of every week, aka Saturday night, each counselor comes up and presents bracelets to the camper with the words that describe how a camper was in a moment So, like, they'll share a story and then they'll present it to the child. Overall, CAA is just a fun experience in general. I can really just simplify it to this. It's fun. Come here. Okay, so now with that out of the way, let's play the song that we play at the end of every day at CAA. Yes, I know that rhymes. Hashki Venu.
We turn to page 42 for the Hashki Venu prayer, so beautifully introduced by one of our campers.
Hashki Venu Adonai Eloheinu LaShalom Hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu LaShalom, Hamideinu Shomreinu Lechaim.
Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain.
Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu LaShalom, Hamideinu Shomreinu
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Shalom Rockers. And the big guy, the big Shalom Rocker, too. Page 44. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל
And now I'll invite Jasmine Pyle to come speak about my favorite camp, Camp Coleman.
Hi. Okay. I had a great experience at Camp Coleman. Once you start going to Camp Coleman, you keep coming back. I've been to Camp Coleman for 3 years and I always ended up coming back. Camp Coleman is like a home. I love camp because everyone in our unit is like a family. We basically have grown up together over the years in camp. Each year, our unit keeps getting closer and closer. We love sharing Shabbat together and our night activities. Spending summer with Jewish people from all over the Southeast is a unique experience I would not have otherwise. I have 2 more years in my unit until my last summer in camp, which is sad because I will miss my unit. Camp Coleman will forever be my home.
We're going to turn to page 46 for the central prayers of our service, Hatfilah. In just a moment, we'll rise for that. The rabbis teach us in the Talmud that we haven't fulfilled the obligation of prayer unless we add something new to the tefillah. And so tonight we're going to do our tefillah prayers silently. I invite you to speak the prayers of the prayer book or the prayers of your heart and to add something new that's just yours. We rise. You may be seated when you're done with your prayers.
Repeat the mistakes of past generations. May we, the children of the world, find a new way of living. May we, the children of the world, use our energy and optimism
creation and each other.
Mistakes of past generations, of old arguments and ancient battles. The children of the world find a new way of where the riches of some are not the expense of others. The children of the world use our energy and optimism, overcome the barriers and fences of the past. May we, children of the world,
A new vision for this planet.
so that we waste less and save more.
May we, children of the world,
Live in harmony with you, your creation and each other.
on the day you'll be one, and your name will be one. On the day you'll be one, and your name, Amen. On that day you will be one, and your name it will be one. On that day you will be one, and your name it will be one. May we, the children of the world.
You know, there's a special prayer we say for moments like this, and it's Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Wow. Wow. Dan, thank you for writing this kind of music that lifts our souls and touches our hearts. And to our beautiful children, thank you for bringing it to life for all of us. And Vanessa, thank you for all you do. This is a beautiful song to lead into the words of Misha Beirach, and so we take a moment to think about all of our loved ones who are in need of a prayer for healing and hope, whether it's healing of the body or healing of the spirit. And so if you have a loved one who is in need of a prayer, or you are in need of a prayer, I invite you to please rise, and we'll call on you to share that name. Orly? Thank you. Gary, did you have a name? Karen? I'm so happy you're feeling better. Bunny? Thank you. Joan? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rofeh hacholim. May God grant healing and strength of the body and of the spirit to all of those who we have named, to all of those whose names have been lovingly put in our program by our family members. Bring them hope and comfort. Amen. And we continue our service now with a moment of rejoicing. And so before we recite Shehekianu, we're going to ask you to rise if I say something that applies to you. So the first people I'll ask to rise are anybody in our congregation who may be here for the very first time. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Stay standing. And now, is there anybody who is having a birthday or an anniversary this month? Please rise. Much joy and celebration to all of you. Now, anybody who has ever attended a Jewish camp, please rise. Anybody who has ever sent their child to a Jewish camp, please rise. Anybody who has ever sat around a campfire or eaten a s'more, please rise. So we should all be standing now and thanking God for all that's in our lives that's holy, that's celebratory. We say thank you to God with the words of Shehekianu. So I'll invite you to put your arm around your neighbor as we thank God together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
And turn to page 282 for the Aleinu. And I invite all the children to come on up to the bima and open the ark with us. Come on up. Come on, Hazel. Come on. 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, גורלנו או המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. I'm going to call up our final camper speaker, and that is Max Gelber, who's speaking about Camp Coleman. Now, I went to Camp Coleman with Max's dad, who was a unit head when I was a CIT, and he went on to become the mayor of Miami Beach. So camp is a very good place to get your start.
All right. Okay. Not really. Okay. So, as you guys know, I'm Max Gelber. Well, see, I've been a camper at Camp Coleman for the past 6 summers. And during those summers, I had made friends who I still talk to and whom I plan to talk to for years to come. My first time at sleepaway camp, it was when I was 7, but it wasn't at Camp Coleman. It was a camp in Canada, which I didn't really click with. I didn't really grow to love like I do Coleman. But after 2 years at that camp, I went to Camp Coleman. It was my first day, and everyone else has been there for the past 2 years. But I was a new kid, right? But I showed up missing my parents, and I was just down on my luck because it was raining. It just wasn't a great day. My flight was delayed. It wasn't great. But when I walked into the cabin, everyone stopped what they were doing, and they looked at me. They smiled. They lined up right in front of me, and they all introduced themselves to me. And that was the moment that I knew that I was going to be at that camp until I can't go anymore. They welcomed me into their Camp Coleman family, and that, what I believe, is what makes Camp Coleman special. It's not the place, it's not the cabins, it's not the activities, but it's the people there. It's the counselors, it's the campers, and that's what really makes Camp Coleman special. For the next prayer, Mourner's Kaddish. The Mourner's Kaddish is probably the prayer that meant the most to me at camp. See, I still remember my second year at camp, my counselor, Josh Gottlieb. He turned out to be my counselor for the next 4 years, right? But he told me how much the Mourner's Kaddish meant to him. He really sat me down and told me. And while it's possible I may have talked a little bit during services, Josh told me that I should always be quiet and think during this prayer. Whether it was remembering my own family member or being there for a friend, it was a time to be together. I would breathe in the beautiful summer air for the last time this past summer, but I would still feel at peace because I was with my ancestors and I was with my camp family.
So as Max just beautifully introduced, it's time to recite the words of Kaddish. We're going to turn to page 294. And as we do, we think about those members of our congregation, those dear ones who have departed in the last 30 days and whose families are in the shloshim of their mourning. We remember Nancy Lifter Wolin, Seymour Goldberg, Justin Foxworthy, Bob Campbell, Earl J. Broidy, Geraldine Ossico, Gary Lehman, Harriet Pearson, Max Miller, and Harry Kaufman. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be a blessing to all of you who know them, who love them. We also remember all those whose yahrzeits are observed on this Shabbat and whose names have been lovingly inscribed in our alcove of remembrance by their family. We think of Mark Fields, Jacob Fink, Lillian Frumkis, Nettie Glasser, Eugene Klein, Yetta Kogan, Petra Maria Kroner, Morris Kugel, Joseph Lesser, Herta Mayer, Phyllis Ruth Miller, Nellie Miller, Irma Podvin, Fred Rosenblum, Lillian Schustak, Sylvia Smith, Fred Somerstein, Alan Stein, and Sid Sussman. And finally, we remember all those other yahrzeits that are observed on this Shabbat. We think of Samuel Arkin, Oscar Baseman, Sidney Barron, Gary Basin, Robert Batts, Etta Leah Blatch, Jean Albert Block, Stanford Blum, Claire Borkowski, Leo Brody, Hubert Curson, Jacob Doick, Rose Frankel, Samuel Frankel, Robert Glenn, Herbert Leon Gottman, Charles Greenspan, Essie Holtz, Esther Sherman Kapp, Benjamin Levin, Joseph Luria, Stephen Macasack, Charles Meadow, Marlon Millman, Arthur Moses, Eleanor Nathan, Maza Rock, Joseph Snitzer, Terry Stafford, Joel Stein, Ellen Steinhardt, Louis Wexler, and Samuel Weinstein. If there's anybody else in our congregation that is in a period of mourning or observing a yahrzeit, I invite you to please rise at this time and share that name with our congregation. Thank you. Please stay standing for Kaddish. I invite the whole congregation to please rise. As we together think of the 6 million men, women, and children who perished in the Shoah, the over 24,000 Israeli soldiers who have died so that we would have a Jewish homeland, and the thousands and thousands of American soldiers who died protecting and defending our liberties. And we take them all into our hearts with our own, as together we recite these words of praise for God, thanking God for their lives. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomachon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam lomei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. May the author of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort all who are bereaved here and everywhere with God's blessing of peace. Amen. Please be seated. I'd like to welcome up a member of our Board of Trustees, Josh Lawrence, who also happens to co-chair our youth committee with Shelley Nicely-Groff. So it's a perfect opportunity for you to give announcements.
True story. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
So tomorrow, Dan Nichols will be back, and he'll be with J-Lab Tefillah, Tat Shabbat, also with Minyan, and in the evening with our Generation Sunset Havdalah. And then on November 18th, there is a Fused Glass 4-week workshop that's beginning with Grace Sherman. There's still a few slots left. And on the same day, there's a screening of Back to the Fatherland. You can contact Mark Baranek for that. And you can join my wife and my mother-in-law on the 19th because Sisterhood is having mezuzah making with Grace Sherman. She's very popular these days, straight from Camp Coleman, right? So that's all I have for you, but Shabbat Shalom and have a wonderful evening.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Camp Shabbat is very special to me because of my connection to Camp Coleman, and I've been lucky enough to be going there for 20 years. Each year I go for a week. I serve on faculty, and I'm also lucky enough to coach our Camp Coleman staff basketball team against Camp Barney every year.
Wow.
So it's really nice to see camp alumni here, campers here, and really to see the directors here and staff from the different URJ camps, which we're very proud of our relationship. When I got here 23 years ago, one of the first things that I was told was that we make sure that any child that wants to go to a Jewish summer camp gets to do that, and that finances will never be an issue for that child as an obstacle to go to camp. And I can tell you, in my 23 years, in my 23 years, honestly, I've served on the camp scholarship with Rabbi Pomerantz, with Rabbi Glickstein, with the leadership. Never once has a child in those 23 years who wanted to go to a Jewish summer camp not gone because of money. So we're really, now you can clap. And no, don't, anyway. So just want to tell you what's going to happen after our closing song and the end of the service. We were going to be outside, but the weather didn't allow us. We're going to go back inside the social hall. There's chicken fingers, there's salad, there's french fries, there's hummus and pita, there's watermelon. We're going to have a great song session because one of the highlights of camp, and you can ask any of the campers, I'm sure it happens at the other camps, Friday night song session. And we're really honored to have Dan here with us, and he's going to lead us. He's got a little stage there. It's all set. And then after, if that weren't enough, we're going to be having s'mores outside. So it's a great rest of the evening. We hope you stay. We hope you have fun with us. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Mark.
I also want to say a heartfelt thank you to the Blausteins, Arnie and Donna, for sponsoring Dan Nichols, our residents, our scholar in residence this weekend. Thank you for bringing this magic to our synagogue. And we do have one final camp speaker, and that is that we've asked Dan Nichols to talk for a few moments about what camp has meant to him.
Shabbat Shalom. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. I feel being in Miami this Shabbos very far away from home. And I'm grateful that I can be with you tonight. Although I'm away from Alicia, my wife, and Ava, our daughter, that I could have a place to be with Cantor Siegel and with Mark and with Josh, with these beautiful singers, these beautiful soul singers of the Jewish people. I am, and with all of you on a night where we're celebrating camp, I'm a very lucky man, and I'm thankful to all of you for being with me tonight. I'm 7 years old at the time when I remember staring at the blood red, 2-inch long shag carpet in my bedroom. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed with my mom, and my mom says, seemingly out of the blue, "Hey, Danny, I'm thinking about going to temple. Do you want to come?" I remember that I said, "Sure, Mom. What's temple?" When I was 7 years old, Mom and Dad both decided that we were going to become a Jewish family. So they studied what it meant to be a Jewish family for about a year, and afterwards, like the rabbi, I think, said, "It seems like you guys want to be a Jewish family." And as my mom and dad tell it, they turned to Rabbi Stein of Indianapolis Hebrew Congregation and said, we can do that? And he said, "Yeah, if you want to, and I'll help you if you want." And we do. So I remember not being Jewish, and then we were. A year later, my mom said, "There's a summer camp right down the road from where we live. It's a camp for Jewish kids. They go for like a month at a time. I hear great things about it. Do you want to go?" "Sure, I'd love to go." So my mom signed me up for this place called Union Camp Institute in Zionsville, Indiana. Zionsville is a suburb on the northwest side of Indianapolis. The camp is now called Goldman Union Camp. It's one of our union camps. I learned to read Hebrew at camp. I learned how to make a blessing at camp. I had my bar mitzvah at camp when I was 18, because when I was 13, my mom said, "You know, Danny, about this time is when young men and women become bar and bar mitzvah. I want that for you if that's something you want, and I really want it to be something that you want right now." Meaning, that's not fair. I'm not being clear. She was saying, "I want you to want this." Meaning, when I said, "No, thank you," she said, "Okay, when you're ready, maybe you'll do that." And I was 18 at camp, and one of the employees for the camp, a man whose name is Sanford Kopnick, who's now a rabbi at the Valley Temple in Cincinnati, Ohio, who was my counselor when I was 10 years old, said to me when I was 18, then working as a counselor, "Hey, Danny, did you ever have your bar mitzvah?" "No." "Why?" "Because Mom asked me if I wanted to, and I said no." And she said, "Okay." "Wow. Do you want to have it this summer?" "I will help you." He was in rabbinical school at the time. "I'll be your tutor." And I said, "Yes, please." So that summer I had my bar mitzvah at camp. And my boys in cabin 16 wrote the service and led the service like we've very much done tonight. I learned to become a counselor. I learned how to care for children at camp. I learned to play guitar at camp. I met my wife at camp. And while my results are not typical, I have to tell you, in the 22 years that I've been traveling all over North America, seeing all of our union camps and camps beyond the union camping system, this kind of impact is real and replicable for these children all over North America. And I just want to say to be with you tonight, and especially to stand among these beautiful singers and sing and pray with them and look at their faces at ages when I was your age and be with you. It was a great return, a great gift for me to remember how lucky I am that I'm with you. I am with you tonight because of what Jewish camping did for little Danny Nichols. And I'm no longer little. But Ron Klotz, my camp director, still calls me Danny. And as I look out tonight, I also must tell you, I look into the face of Bobby Harris, who's the director of Camp Coleman. And Bobby was one of the first people in 1996 to support my work as a creative artist in the Jewish world, trying to create new sounding Jewish music. Bobby was one of the first to say, we want to help you make that happen. And that's because of the vision and the kindness and the grace of somebody like Bobby Harris, who gets the work that we're all doing, and even got the work of a guy who at the time was 25 years old and didn't really not yet know how to do it so well. I appreciate your support. It's remarkable. And so, thank you for this opportunity to be with you. Thank you for the opportunity to stand among you and reflect back on Shabbos. I thought our closing song could be a song that we wrote for camp back in 1998, the camp where I went to when camp was turning 40 years old. It's the same line of Hebrew that we use when we finish a book of Torah. It says, Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek, be strong, and let us be strengthened. It's a way as a community we're saying, look, we've done this for a long time. We've been reading Torah for what feels like forever. And we're doing it again right now, and we're going to keep doing it. Let us be strong, let us be strengthened by this moment. And for me, I think about this as a camp song. Please.
It's in your program, the words, and I'd like to just invite Vanessa and Mason, and I know there's a few others that are here that are song leaders and music specialists. Please, we'd love for you to come up and help us lead Chazak.
Here's the refrain. Be strong and let us strengthen one another. Be strong and let us celebrate our lives. That repeats. Be strong and let us strengthen one another. Now it changes. Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. It's my dream that when we come to that part of the song, that maybe everybody here, even the folks that say, hey, Dan, don't ask me to sing. I can't carry a tune in a bucket. You're invited. Here we go. We have come from near and far to raise our voice in song. And the more we join in the refrain, the more we feel strong. Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. Second verse has the same tune. The words change a little bit. There is a power in this place and time. It shapes the rest of our lives. For when we return each year, we find a truth we can't deny. Be strong and let us strengthen one another. Be strong and let us celebrate our lives. Be strong and let us strengthen one another. Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. As we sing, we link ourselves to those who came before. And we're one with all those yet to come. Our strength, it will endure. Be strong and let us strengthen one another. Be strong and let us celebrate our lives. Be Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Chazak, chazak. Sing it again. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Chazak, chazak. Be strong, be strong. Chazak, chazak. Chazak, chazak. Venitchazek. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Please join us in the social hall.